Alright, so I'm Eric at Twisted Throttle. This is Elisa Quickinger, the world famous MotoAdventureGal. And she just got back from going through South America with Mefo tires. So I figured I'd ask her how well they did, where they did what they did, and how long they lasted. So that's what I have to say for myself.
Mefo tires rock. I rode from Rhode Island to Buenos Aires on 2 sets of tires. That meant that I only had to dig out my spoons and change twice. I rode from Rhode Island to Panama City, Panama, changed tires there. And then,
how many miles was that?
About 9,500 miles. Changed them out. They still had some life on them. There was definitely a lot of life on the front tire. The rear tire was it was kind of.
It was the drive tire. So.
And then the second set of tires lasted from Panama City all the way to Buenos Aires. So.
And that was what?
That was
10,000 miles, or?
I hate to say it, but it was over. It was almost 11. Almost 11. So, and I will admit that the back tire was pretty
Shot at that point.
Shot, but I mean, 2 sets of tires. Rhode Island to Buenos Aires. That's incredible, and it's safe. What I really like about the Mefo tires is that it saves so much wear and tear on me because I didn't have to get out there with my spoons in the hot weather and change tires. The tires worked great. I had one flat, which was a bolt about this big in the back tire.
That does it.
That was the only problem I had. It's awesome.
And what kinds of terrain were you traveling over during those roughly 10,000 miles per set of tires?
Yeah, definitely dual sport terrain. There was a lot of highway in the United States getting to the border, but I rode Copper Canyon. I rode Espinazo del Diablo in Mexico. It was paved, very twisty. That was great. Did some more off-road and stuff in El Salvador. Lots of off-road there, and Honduras, the roads were incredible. They had these potholes that were like 4 or 5 feet deep, and you just drop into the pothole, and you have to ride back out. It was worst roads of the trip.
So if you had to break it down to fractions of pavement, packed dirt road, and true off-road, roughly what kind of fractions do you think you might have had?
Okay. I like getting off the main path of travel, so it was probably 60%, if I'm not including the portion in the United States. It was about 60% pavement, about 20%.
She's in trouble.
You want to start that again?
No, just keep going. It's funnier that way.
60% pavement, 20% sort of gravel roads, and then 20% just off-road, no holds barred. Make it through the best you can. Lots of mud in Peru. I hit the rainy season in Peru.
So you were on a heavily loaded DR650 SE. Really heavily loaded.
Really heavily loaded. I
Weight
had.
ratings.
I put my luggage on the scales here in your warehouse before I pulled out. I had 44 pounds on the left 45-liter pannier. I know, I'm a girl.
Don't do this at home, children.
I had 42 pounds of gear on the right and 37-liter box, but that was all my spares. And then I had 22 pounds at the top in the top box. Not recommended for other travelers, folks, but I wanted to be self-sufficient. If something broke, I needed to have parts because, traveling in third world countries, you never know where you're going to be able to get parts. I didn't want to get stuck. And I'm a girl, I pack a lot.
So you were using the Explorer tread pattern, right?
Yes, Mefo Explorer front and back.
And what kind of pressures were you running in each tire?
I rode with your manufacturer pressure on the pavement, which was 40, 41. I think the sidewall says 41.
Right, whatever the sidewall
somewhere, yeah. Off-road, like for Copper Canyon, I dropped it down to about 22 PSI front and rear. But the trick, I think the trick to the longevity of these tires is to follow the manufacturer's recommendation, because most people think, oh my goodness, 40 PSI, I shouldn't do that. I know more than the manufacturer, and that's not true. I think how you get that kind of life mileage out of the tire is air up right when you get back on the pavement, all air up to that 40, 41.
Well, to see a map of her travels with the Mefos, check out her website. She says she's going to finish the map.
Yeah, I'll finish the map.
Thanks, guys.